Actually, by the way, I've been over here for a week, and as an American, I gotta say something. You guys are pretty fat, too. Yeah. Specifically the men. I don't know what's going on with the men, but I don't give a fuck how fat you get. You're gonna pour yourself into your skinny jeans. They still got them. It's like you know? Oh, he's a good dog. He had a moment. Jesus Christ. Well, Jesus Christ, you shouldn't have put your goddamn face down there near the fucking dog, man. Yeah. So that's all it was. It was like, it was weird. We were like the Brady Bunch meets Lord of the Flies. Like on paper. It was great. It was a station wagon full of fucking, you know, Norman Rockwell. We went to church. We got Dunkin' Donuts. Yeah, that was about the fucking, yeah. So, I don't know. So anyway, we all ended up, yeah, my dad was one of these people like, everything. Gym teachers were scary. Collecting on your paper. Everybody was scary. Fucking everything. Dude, I remember one time my dad told a priest he didn't deserve to wear the collar. I don't know how it happened. They were discussing the altar boy schedule. And I don't know. He was wanting to put me on a different mask. And my dad started getting his leg on. I'll tell you, I'm going to wear the fucking collar. And my jaw was on the ground. And then the best part, next week we go to mass. They haven't spoken in a week. And my dad just comes walking like, hey, how you doing? But I don't listen to her. You know? Why would I listen to her? All she does is criticize. You know? I got nothing but bad reviews on the fucking husband Yelp. It's just all, you know, didn't enjoy the experience. Thumbs down, half a star, never get a fucking attaboy, right? So it just becomes white noise after a while. Like, oh, what, am I doing something wrong again? Oh, yeah, you again. Okay, great. Great. What did I do? What did I do this time? Huh? What do I have to work on? Go ahead, fucking let me know, right? And I just had to sit there like, I just did that to a 2.5-year-old. And she was like walking away, and I'm just sitting there like thinking like, how bad was that? Is she just going to go play with the toy and forget about it? Or is she no longer going to be an astronaut? Like, what did I just do? I thought I was better than my dad. I'm making the same mistakes that he's...
Fucking exhausted. You know what I mean? They just put the war paint and the circle tits, just trying to fucking tuck it in and fucking... like an athlete at the end of their career, just trying to limp off the field one more time. They're not as fast as they used to be. It reminds you of your own mortality. It's just like, ladies, just fucking sit down. Put on something flowing. I'll put on a sport coat. We'll be in bed by 8:30, right? We're fucking old, you know? So, we realized that, I don't know, we always fight about the television. So, I'm like, well, what about documentaries? Why don't we just tape something we both like? We both love. We realized that, I don't know, we always fight about the television, so I'm like, well, what about documentaries? Why don't we just tape something we both like? We both love documentaries. They're fun, right? You watch them, you learn something, you repeat it at a party, people think you read. So I tape, you know, first one I tape is on Elvis Presley, right? Now, I love Elvis, okay? He fascinates me. He's like the first rock star with the power of television. They just intersected, and he went to he ascended to this level of fame. Royal Bulls hang out. We love it, King. Keep fucking going. Starts doing pills, gets addicted. He fucking dies alone on a toilet. All right? This man kicked open all of those fucking doors for the rest of us. All right? So I sit down, and I'm watching this documentary as a white dude, which is what I am. I'm looking out my white head, watching this white shit. It's coming back into my white eyes, getting whiter by the fucking second. All right? Now, my wife, on the other hand, she's black, right? It's always the same stupid fucking joke. I hate those jokes, you know, because they're easy, and it's been my experience that it's just not true. You know, 15 years of being with her, there's really no difference, you know, because at the end of the day, it's a woman. All right? It's gonna be the same fights. I don't give a fuck who you're with. I'm not gonna lie to you. There might be more head movement and hand gestures with different races of women. Possibly but she was catching all this subtle shit that I was too white to see, but I knew I was missing it because I just kept hearing her huffing and puffing, just sitting next to me being like, and I'm just sitting there like, okay, somebody did something. I don't know what just happened, but I don't think that was good. So right when I didn't think it could get any worse, it could get any more uncomfortable between the two of us, this fucking white dude comes on who evidently discovered Elvis. And he's like 190. I was looking for a white boy that could take the down and dirty, nasty blues and combine it with the pristine, angelic sounds of bluegrass. Yeah, that's what he was doing. He was subtly putting black shit down here while he was propping up the white shit. You know, the down and dirty, daddy not sticking around, drug-infested neighborhood blues with the Jesus as white as me, hair the color of the sun, angelic bluegrass playing music, right? So at this point, my wife has like fucking steam coming out of her ears. So I make a judgment call. I would begin to an argument. I'm like, ugh. All right, you know why? Because not for nothing, there was some black people in there saying some shit that I didn't agree with. You know? I'm not huffing and puffing. Yeah, I said that. Like a fucking idiot. And she just looks at me, she's like what black people? Like what black people that said what? And at that point, it's like you started the luge, right? You can't get off the fucking sled. Now you gotta have the argument. I'm like, fuck, here we go. Guess we're having this. And I'm like, all right, kid in Santa Monica came up with that, man. So she starts laughing. And I should have stopped there, but I'm a comedian, right? I'm like, oh, I'm getting a laugh. There's got to be a bigger laugh, so keep going, Bill. Let's come with another example. So I'm like, yeah, do I get mad at you when you fly from L.A. to New York in under 6 hours? And she just, yeah. She just stares at me. She's just like, that was fucked up. I was like, yeah, I know. It sounded good in my cul-de-sac. It really is going to be okay. And come up with that painful, beautiful music. You can't do that. Next thing you know, you're clapping on the fucking downbeat. You're playing a washboard, right? James Brown is line dancing. All goes out the window. So you got to make a choice. Either you learn how to fly and your music sucks. I got to read that fucking book. Chapter 1, how to know if a dick tastes presidential. How to weed your way through all that local representative cock and get to the big swinging dick in the room. I'll tell you right now, say what you want about Republican presidents, but they got their first ladies in line. They do. Someday, there's going to be the first female president, which means there's going to be the first male first lady, right? And you wait, you fucking wait. The first time that dude opens his mouth about some political shit, you watch all these feminists. They're on me, you shut the fuck up. You shut the fuck up. It is her time now. It is her time. She was elected, not you. Go pick out some plates, bitch. You are the first lady.
All right. I don't know why that got so flat.
You got one question to ask Don Rickles.
Who killed Kennedy?
You think he knows?
Well, yeah. Well, he hung out with Sinatra. I figure 6 degrees of separation. He probably knows. Yeah, why not? Where's Jimmy Hoffa? I'd ask him one of those. You ask him 3 mob questions. One of them he's got the answer to.
You don't have any kids.
No, I don't. I don't like the way you said that. Like you said, it's very...
Obia man. Obia man. Oh, I see. O-B-E-A-H. God, I'm stupid. What is your favorite Pokemon in Pixar? I don't. I'm too old for that. I have no idea what that is. That's that creepy little yellow thing. Those eyes.
This is Southside Steve, and this is Southside Steve TV, and this is Bill Burr.
That's your question?
I'm just saying who you are.
Oh, yeah, all right. I don't like you creep me out with that. The NHL. No, wait a minute. Time out. The NHL is you guys too. So all the owners had to agree with that. And you all had to be like, we gotta like expand this thing.
We thought we'd funnel money into Canada and keep it here, but you guys took it over, like you tend to do. But, well, I'm not going to apologize for that. No, you're big on the, yeah.
I mean, that's just business, dude. You're acting like we came and knocked you on the head. You know what we're about?
Wait a minute.
Oh, yeah.
Wait a second.
Is there any specific preparing that you do when you do an urban room, or you just do your regular material?
Yeah, I rent car wash, and I watch. No, it was.
Soul Glow.
Yeah, Soul Glow. I watch that. I make sure I buy a couple of Red Fox albums.
I start talking like this
when I get on stage.
You're at your girlfriend.
What happens to your dick?
Happy holidays. There you go. I'm out of it. You just go with honesty. This game's easy.
So your Christian background is part of the show. Or at
Yes,
least
and I
2
wanted to
episodes.
talk to you about Jesus after this.
Well, the only reason why I bring it up is some people thought maybe you went a little too far. You know.
As far as what?
Well, they thought that.
And move it up to Seattle. They don't give them their background.
All right, I'm not totally following, but I don't think
You know
I want
what I'm
to.
talking about? It's a morning show. I understand.
I like it. Thank you for
I
being
came on.
positive.
That kid
Positive.
missed the graduation, and then it was a feel-good story.
It was a feel-good, and we want to leave.
If you want to feel good about America, you watch the morning shows. You don't watch this, you know.
And
we
watch-
were joking earlier. If that kid's story about the graduation was late night, that would have been a whole different story.
What do you think?
He's still missing. We can't find him. All we found was his hat. But you're watching.
When I'm like, did we really win? But I understand what you're saying. Now,
is that African-American thing?
Yeah.
Good. Hey, can you do a shout out for Old Head?
What is it?
The Old Fart Network.
Oh, the Old Fart Network. Okay. Hey, what's going on, you old... What's going on, you old sons of bitches? Turn up your hearing aid. You're watching the Old Fart Channel.
What do you think about... And I'm in the middle of watching the World Series, and out of nowhere, they have this moment, stand up to cancer. I'm watching a ball game, and all of a sudden, everybody stands up. No, there's a time and a place. Look, I know somebody that has died of cancer. I would never go to the movies with you and in the middle of it hit pause and be like, oh, by the way, Conan, I know this guy.
What your take is on Joe Biden?
His hand's on woman's hip, right? And then you take the picture and you just start writing a bunch of creepy shit. It's ridiculous. Like that Believe women. It's like all of them.
Going around saying that 87% of the world sucks, you're not going to get one.
No, but this is the thing.
You're not going to give you one.
I can say that because there's nothing you can take away from me. What are you going to do? You're going to say I can't do stand-up in strip malls anymore? That's usually the punishment for the genius.
There was a lot coming from the Hillary Clinton camp that...
Genius!
There was a lot coming from the Hillary Clinton camp that Trump is bad for children. And they had a lot of ads that said, you know, children are watching this guy.
Oh, we all know
talk.
that children 5 and 6 years old are always tuning into the debates. Taking notes. That's what I did when I was a kid. I'll never forget that.
You never saw Weird Science, how creepy these nerds are? All these cameras on your phone, all of that. The people go on Ancestry.com. Why would you send your saliva into Weird Science, how creepy these nerds are? All these cameras on your phone, all of that. The people go on Ancestry.com. Why would you send your saliva into the internet? Why would you do that? Why don't you just go to the Illuminati and help them build your robot replacement? I was making fun of the military, you know, which you can't do now. Like, we totally went from Vietnam, all the hippies being like, hey, man, you're like a baby killer, man, to like now you got to give like a standing ovation when they walk off. And
So does your wife watch any of these games with you? Does she?
No, she has the female complex multitasking brain. That's why they can't be happy. They just always, they're like, what is that lizard that can look at two things at once? That's what they're like. So you got to figure out a way to like thin out the herd, and it's too late. These are the hard decisions that are going to have to be made.
We're here to hear about some hard choices.
I'm on that horrible show my wife watched where he just walks around in the background. That's what I've learned.
Oh, God.
You know what makes women happy? Nothing. Nothing makes them happy, and that is why they are slowly taking over the NFL, because it annoys them that we can just sit there with like a pizza and a drink, like, that's not holding, and just be like, and enjoy ourselves. And then also, you can't tell other people's kids not to do stuff.
Right.
So you got to come back, and that's what's holding back this country.
Yeah. 20 years, you work your way up to the front, and now still they won't let you...
Yeah, now that fat guy's considered disabled because he can't stop eating cookies. So he gets on. Look at me groaning. 90% of the world is starving to death. That guy. Eat a salad and get on the treadmill like the rest of us. We're all working out. What is the problem? The only thing I didn't like was that shot where he was playing hoop.
Yeah, it went viral, I think. He was playing...
Get out. What is the problem? The only thing I didn't like was that
that shot where he was playing hoop?
Yeah, it went viral, I think. He was
Yeah.
playing basketball and he took a shot and
Yeah,
went in.
He was playing with his black friend that he's paying to lose. Dude, I'll tell you right now, go do a show. Third show Saturday night in a comedy club. I'm telling you, you get an unhappily married woman in an undersexed marriage.
I'm listening to every word.
Didn't she, for the first 5 years, have like midgets who wanted to bang their mailman's boyfriend? And she didn't want to do it. She didn't want to do it, but she didn't have the power to say no, so she wrote it out. And then when she could make a good decision, she did a show, but she stood on the heads of those little people for 5 years until she got, and then she's sitting there across from this guy like so. You know, rich kids just sit around, you know, doing blow, sitting in Ferraris. They don't do anything. It's the poor kids that they make stuff happen. So yeah, you don't get trampled, grabbing your wig. You know, suspenders flying off. It's so sad. To do what? Get an above-ground pool for $30 off? There is nothing in Walmart. I don't even know where. There's nothing worth getting trampled. It just makes me depressed.
Yeah.
That you would do that. People sit out for like weeks.
There's a week.
They don't even go to Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Like they're on their cell phone and their mom's crying. I just think you'd want to spend it with us. And you're sitting out there in that parking lot, feeling those people breathing down the back of your neck, just going like, knowing who you're gonna elbow. It's just the saddest.
There are women that waited 22 days at Best Buy. They waited 22 days.
And what did they get? What do you think they?
2 days.
And what did they get? What do you think they got?
I don't know.
They got trampled.
Yeah.
The thing is, if you're going to go there, you don't want to be at the front of the line. You want to be about 40 deep. And I figure you pop out of the line and you wait till that first wave or two falls down. And then you go over the top like Walter Payton back in the day. Roll out of it. But even then, you got to know. On that linoleum floor, you're going to blow out at these. It's the saddest thing. It's one year what people should do. You know, like Richard Branson, one of these hot air balloon rich guys, you should just like float in over them right before it and just start dropping everything that they want. But even then, they would start stampeding. Like no matter how many hot air balloons he had.
No, it's a bad idea. You don't want billionaires in hot air balloons dropping toasters.
No, but that's how progressive you guys are, right? You don't have any idea, right? Like, let's play a game. I'll just name different people you see and see the slides that come into your head, right? Construction worker, sports fan, painter, skateboarder, lesbian. Right? It all goes blank. You're being so bad. Stop it. No. Yeah, that's not a fucking no. That means I want to do it, but I'm afraid you're going to judge me, so I'm just going to make it look like it was your idea so you don't figure out that I've already performed this act with 40 other fucking people. Right? But then you go to court and you get a bad read and there's some guy reading it. Your Honor, she said no. Stop it. What are you doing? You're being so bad. No more chiming in, like leaning into the frame, spitting out their ideas. It's just like, well, why are you talking? Right? You weren't elected. Shut up. Your husband's not running a lemonade stand here. He's running the country. You don't just chime in. Let me guess, is this considered sexist? It is? Why? Well, okay, you just nodded there, lady. He shows up, and he goes, yeah, I think the leak's coming from the upstairs bathroom. We need to shut it up, blah, blah. Then all of a sudden, his wife walks in, who isn't a plumber. And then goes, hey, you know, I'm actually thinking, wouldn't you be like, with all due respect, shut the up. I need a plumber in this moment. I'll extend an olive branch here. All right, at some point, there's going to be the first female president, right? Exactly. First lady, right? And when that happens, that dude needs to shut his trap. I don't want to hear a word out of him. I want to hear from the president. You, sir, go do some first lady stuff, all right? Go get yourself some gloves that go up to your elbows. Smile and nod during speeches. Go put your own flair redecorating the White House, right? Which leads you to Michelle Obama, right? Now she's sitting there. Well, let's go back in history here, okay? You guys stood by us toxic white males through centuries of our crimes against humanity. You rolled around in the blood money, and occasionally when you wanted to sneak off and hook up with a black dude, if you got caught, you said it wasn't consensual. Yeah, that's what you did. That's what you did. So why don't you shut up, sit down next to me, and take your talking to? Oh, you just want to flip the whole fucking table over? Horrendous. I'm trying to learn to pick my battles when I date girls. I usually argue with women all the time, man. I'm stupid like that. You know? Like, I dated this girl one time. She was, like, really into, like, women's issues. So we used to always have these dumbass arguments. Like, one time she came up to me and she goes, okay, explain this to me, Bill. Why does a guy make more an hour to do the exact same job, huh? I go, I'll tell you why. Anytime there's a hostage situation, who do they negotiate for first? Well, at least let the women and children go. Well, what about me? Bullets hurt me, too. Why the fuck do I gotta stay in the vault? No, that's my point, man. Where are all the feminists in those situations?
Happy about it. I said, yeah, I turned 50 last year. She goes, how was turning 50 for you? You know, she goes, you're a guy. You probably don't care. It's much harder for a woman, especially with our careers. Oh, did I have fun with that? You know? I just wrote back, where? Jesus fucking Christ. You know what I mean? White women complaining is one of the funniest. It's like you got a fucking house and a beautiful family. What is the fucking... It's so much harder for...
Head to my day. You know, I don't get how the other Olsen twin only weighs half a pound more, but she's fucking fine. No, they're so starving, they're weak. That's why whenever they take a picture of them, you ever notice they gotta like fucking lean them up against each other? So like they don't tip over, like they're like still trying to look sexy. They're not sexy, they look like aliens, you know? It's a lot of work, but you know, I think when you meet that special someone, there's a connection, and I can't feel my legs. Let me just lean over here. You know, a woman completes a man, and some other metaphor. No, you know what freaks me out too, really? When you go to a man's house, there's nothing in there. A married guy's house. When you walk in there, there's nothing in there that even suggests a man even lives there. Christ, you're just like your mother. You're fucking out to lunch. That was my dad. No matter what he was bitching about, somehow he would make it about my mother. It would have nothing to do with her. He could somehow find a connection and spin it back. He'd have said, oh, is it raining out? Oh, for Christ's sake, I don't need this shit. Christ, it's the same goddamn thing with your mother. That woman is a fucking cloud hanging over my life. Anytime you got an idea, Christ, she's... This is the worst one. You ever get this one? Want to go to brunch? You want to go to brunch on Sunday? And inside you're like, fucking no! But you can't say that, right? You got to keep them happy. So what do? You agree. Like, yeah, let's go to brunch. What a great idea. Why would you want to sleep in on a Sunday when you can go pay $18 for eggs? Nah, you're thinking. I got to stand there with, like, the back of my shirt on fire going, let's go, people, let's go, let's go. So that's how I look at it. No, it's $1 an hour surcharge. That if something fucked up happens, either I can't leave or I gotta, like, get in the way of it to give you a head start, like, rabbit dog, run, honey, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. You hear a bump in the night, I gotta go check it out, like, yes, he does have a knife. You know what I mean? You can't find him. There are no feminists in a house fire. That's a guarantee. You could take the most hardcore feminist, some chick right in your face, like, you chauvinistic son of a bitch, little short, little haircut, the whole 9 yards, right? Second those flames break out, she's gonna twist those little hairs into pigtails. No, I'm just a girl. I want to go play jump rope. And leave you standing in a burning house like you're not flammable. You know, but I'm not. No, not because like, oh, you know, all that political stuff. He's just like too into Jesus for me. I get uncomfortable with that. When people get like overly religious, it kind of freaks me out, you know? You know what I mean? Like I don't mind. I don't mind when like black people get really into Jesus though, you know? Because like somehow like the shit stays spiritual. You know, you get a couple of good songs out of it. You know what I mean? People look like they're having a good time. Somehow when like white dudes get too into Jesus, all of a sudden like shit catches on fire. My girl's actually, she's really like religious. She goes to church every week and I never go and it freaks her out. She's like, why don't you go to church? You don't believe in God and heaven and hell and all that stuff? Why don't you go? And it's not because I don't believe in a higher power. I definitely do. My thing is when I go to church, I can't get past the fact that I'm just listening to some fucking guy. You ever think of that shit when they listen to another human being tell you what to eat and when to eat it? Don't eat meat this Friday. If you eat meat this Friday, you are going to hell. It's like, dude, I'm going to a cookout on Friday. If you eat that fucking cheeseburger, buddy, that is it for you. Who is this guy? Dude, I'll eat a cheeseburger whenever I want to. And I'll jerk off. It's my dick. Why am I listening to this guy? I'll fucking jerk off while I eat a cheeseburger. What do you think about that? I'm out, okay? You guys party way too fucking hard for me, okay? I got off at about 22 exits ago. I didn't see that page in the book. I don't know what you guys are doing. I can't believe they're still in business. People are still showing up. Name one other business that could survive that shit. You think if they were fucking kids at Walmart, they could sell rakes the next day? And just try to put thing. I was like happy for him, man. He was in horrible health. You know what I mean? Everybody just wanted the guy to keep hanging on. It's ridiculous. They're like wheeling him from room to room, and people are still flipping. Oh, God, I think he's gonna die. I think he's gonna die. I'm so. It's like, well, I think he's gonna go to heaven. I mean, it's got to be better than that shit. I bet the last 2 months of his life, he was just sitting in that chair going, God, I wish the world would stop praying for me. Actually, I had this black dude moved in my building, man. Lives on the same floor as me. He's one of these dudes. Every time he's hilarious. Every time he says some shit, right after he's done saying the shit, he repeats like the most important part of like the previous sentence. It's hilarious. Everything he said will be like, yo, my man came in, he put that shit on the table. Put it on the table! It's hilarious. No, it's like the typical white dude from like the suburbs, you know what I mean? Had no frame of reference, you know? So my only frame of reference with black people was like those, remember those early 90s gangster rap videos? Throw the fucking LA riots in there, man. It was fucking horrible PR. I'm watching the videos, look, he's got a nice car, he's got all the women, and he's still fucking mad. These black dudes are never happy. But after 10 years of living in the city, this is how I narrow it down. Whether a black dude scares me or not. Black dudes with dirty, feels comfortable up to about like 98th, 99th Street, you know what I'm saying? The second the streets start getting into like triple digits, like 100, 101st Street, start getting like a little asthma, like, oh, fuck, it's starting to get a little high up here. You feel that little tightness in your chest? Can you feel that? 106th Street, you're like leaning on shit, like, dude, where'd all the cabs go? How come there's no taxis up here? Dude, what's a bodega? For like 105th Street, 103rd, you know, which is like the first stop in Harlem where I can still look over my shoulder and see like all the white people like disappearing over the horizon, you know? But she goes, no, man, you want to get on the Uptown 2-3 train, you want to get off at 125th Street. I'm like, God, fuck, 125th Street. Jesus Christ, that's like right in the middle of everything. I'm going to be surrounded on all four sides. I can't fucking do this. So, I thought I like I was on like some reality show at that point, like some sort of like white guy survivor. It was ridiculous. So I'm thinking, I gotta walk right by these guys, right? You know what's funny? I think that they were actually more surprised to see me than I was scared, you know? And I was really, really scared, you know, but I'm also really, really white, you know? Like shockingly Caucasian. You know what I mean? Like if you're not ready for me, I can like surprise you. No, especially if...
Are you gonna have at 41? You still gonna have the bachelor party? Do you really need to, man? I mean, you're 41. You just lived the bachelor party for fucking 20 years, right? Did it? You do what? You play place? Yeah, you know. Yeah. What? I can't go to titty bars anymore. I just remember those. You can't see him. You're blind. Jeez. Well, thank you for fucking bringing it all the way down to your goddamn. I didn't ask you about your eyesight. Jesus Christ, you got problems with your kidneys too? We can just turn this into a benefit? What the fuck is wrong with this guy? He fucking can't see. He fucking flip-flopping the words. Who is this poor woman who's marrying you on Saturday? The best man is blind too? Really? Yeah, I get it. Well, first of all, you're not fucking blind. You know what? You're looking around too much. You're like, first of all, you were blind. What the fuck are you looking back at him for? You need to work on your fake blind shit. Jesus Christ. You really tried to make me look like an asshole there. I couldn't see with the fucking lights. All of a sudden, I see this guy, this blind guy. Oh, with this guy right here with the red shirt. All of a sudden, I see this guy, this blind guy. Oh, with this guy right here with the red shirt. I mean, with the clothing. Where are you again? Just direct my head. Oh, there you are. Jesus Christ. Is that what you do? You do shit like that? I appreciate a good scam, man. That's not fucking better than that. You know what I mean? What? Well, you know, most comics would have just fucking left it after you said I'm blind. I'm sorry. And I literally delved into it to the point that somebody at the table just said, "This is my cane right here." I mean, you want me to bump into some shit? I mean, I don't know what I gotta do here to prove to you that I can't fucking see, because I can't fucking see. Jesus Christ. All right, I got it. You can't see. You proved it to me. You're blind. This woman has her hand over her mouth. She pops her head up. Hey, Bam Bam, tell Stevie Wonder to come down and play some songs tonight. Now, I found out she's doing a tour because she's doing a book tour. Yeah, she wrote a book. She wrote a book about not having a job. I gotta read that fucking book. Chapter 1, how to know if a dick tastes president. Someday there's going to be the first female president, which means there's going to be the first male first lady. Right? And you wait. You fucking wait. The first time that dude opens his mouth about some political shit, you watch all these feminists throwing me. You shut the fuck up. You shut the fuck up. It is her time now. It is her time. She was elected, not you. Go pick out some plates, bitch. You are the first lady. See how you do. You know? You fly him out. You land. You bring another 28 back. We'll let you do this for a while. You do this for a while. We don't get any complaints. No up and down, up and down. No, none of that shit. We'll move you up to 35 people. And then one day you'll be in a jet. Woo, we're going a little faster, right? Big planes, you get in the fucking pilot that knows what he's doing. He's probably fought in a war. He's used to getting shot at. He can't. So I'm on a smaller plane. And everything's going great. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, we hit this turbulence. Just right? And it stops. And everybody looks around like laughing nervously like, oh. All of a sudden, it comes back with a vengeance. You can literally hear like the metal the plane's made out of, like. All of a sudden, this dude, like 3 rows back,
starts making like these bitchy noises like, I'm not gonna lie, I have never been so fucking scared in my entire life. Dude, that noise is acceptable out of a female or a child. To turn around and see a 37-year-old mustachioed male going, woo, woo, woo. Dude, the hair was standing up on my arms. I'm praying to a higher power. I don't even believe in this shit. I just wish I had the balls to turn around and be like, dude, would you shut the fuck up? You think I'm not up here thinking, woo, woo? I am. But how does that help us for me to join you and turn this fuselage into a haunted house? You know? You know what kills me? What absolutely kills me is some woman is going to fall in love with this guy, marry him, and make half fucking kids. And you know what? We become weaker as a species. We do.
Go to the park? You want to go to the Container Store? Get some containers for your t-shirts?
This is the worst one. Ever get this one?
You want to go to brunch? You want to go to brunch on Sunday?
And inside you're like, fucking no! You can't say that, right? You gotta keep them happy. So what do? You agree. Like, yeah, let's go to brunch. What a great idea. Oh, you just want to flip the whole fucking table over? It's horrendous. I'm trying to learn to pick my battles when I date girls. I usually argue with women all the time, man. I'm stupid like that. You know? Like, I dated this girl one time. She was, like, really into, like, women's issues. So we used to always have these dumbass arguments. So one time she came up to me and she goes, okay, explain this to me, Bill. Why does a guy make more an hour to do the exact same job, huh? I go, I'll tell you why. Because I got my shirt on fire going, let's go, people, let's go, let's go! So that's how I look at it. No, it's $1 an hour surcharge. That if something fucked up happens, either I can't leave or I gotta like get in the way of it to give you a head start, like rabid dog, run honey, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. You hear a bump in the night, I gotta go check it out, like, yes, he does have a knife. Hardcore feminist, some chick right in your face, like, you chauvinistic son of a bitch. Little short, little haircut, the whole 9 yards, right? Second those flames break out, she's gonna twist those little hairs into pigtails.
No, I'm just a girl. I want to go play jump rope.
And leave you standing in a burning house like you're not flammable. You know, but I'm not a dick though. I'm not saying I think a woman should make $1 less an hour to do the same job. The other night, somebody broke into our car sitting in the driveway. Starts fucking with her head, right? So she starts reading up on guns, you know? She's reading too much because now she wants to get one, but she's just like, well, I heard you got to keep the bullets in the safe, keep the stock in the garage. And then what? I run around the house and assemble it. There's some dude's chasing me with an axe. You know, even thinking this thing through, sweetheart. She's running around. Where's the scope? It's in the living room. He's in the living room. And this thing through, sweetheart. She's running around. Where's the scope? It's in the living room. He's in the living room. Now, we're getting this thing. I want that fucking thing loaded right on the bedroom wall. Right there. I'll put that thing up my jam sleeves. Just like that. There's no other point. That's funny, though, when you talk about getting a gun, you know? People, like, they either totally for it or completely against it. You know, they either go nuts and start screaming, right? No, I'm telling you. I don't buy in any of that shit. Stats are so fucking stupid. You know? Not that they're stupid. It's the way people apply them. You already have your mind made up, and then you go to I'mRight.com, and you start memorizing a bunch of shit, and then just throw it up at people. This guy tried to get me to go scuba diving. I go, I'm not going. I don't want to get eaten by a shark. He's like, well, actually, 90% of shark attacks actually happen in shallow water. It's like, no shit. That's where the people are. Here. Right? However, the second I took off the costume and they cleaned off my face and I put on my regular clothes, I immediately just looked like some sad old queen that never found love. Right? And as luck would have it, I was in New York City in June, which I quickly found out was Gay Pride Month. The whole month. And let me tell you something, the gay guys show up strong. It is wall to wall, which I quickly found out was Gay Pride Month. The whole month. And let me tell you something, the gay guys show up strong. It is wall to wall. The fucking island is almost tipping over. There's so many of them. And I'm sitting there like going, oh my God, 30 days of this shit. I'm walking around with this orange Freddie Mercury fucking dick broom on my face. I am going to be getting harassed up and down the street. I was an actor the way other lesbians do. It's not calculus. No, but I get it. I understand in 2021 you're not allowed to say you know what a lesbian looks like, right? Judging by your silence, yes, right? Yeah, you're not allowed, right? What's funny is some white kid came in here like 20 years old, hair slicked back, collar popped, loafers, no socks. You'd be looking at him thinking like, all right, frat boy, date rapist, his dad's a judge, he's not going to jail. Yards, she comes back into my lane again. So now, like, I'm up against the curb. So now I'm like thinking like, okay, how do I do the politically correct math here? Like, what am I supposed to be doing here? Am I supposed to like fucking, am I supposed to step off into the bike lane and have some young kid on his electric bicycle come by, 40 miles an hour, run me over? I go down to the pavement, knees and elbows. And for the rest of my life, every time it rains, I got to think about this lesbian that walked me off the fucking block? Is that what I'm supposed to do? In public, people are going to see this shit. What's going to happen, right? But I'm not going to lie to you. She started closing in. She was moving. So I, like, leaned in. Like, I really got my legs underneath me because she was built like a janitor, and I was not going to get spun around. I wasn't getting spun around, not having that on the fucking logbook, right? So I leaned into this shit, and at the last second, she turned her shoulder, and we just missed shoulders, but our forearms still slapped together with significant enough force that it warranted a turnaround. Around and go like old school Dustin Hoffman, De Niro, like, hey, I'm fucking walking here, huh? I fucking moved twice, you didn't see that? You drifted 2 times, huh? So I turn around to have this confrontation, and let me tell you something, she never looked back. And I'm not gonna lie to you, that bugged me. That bugged me for like 3 days. 3 days, I'm just in my chest. And then one more time, it's going to be, I'm sorry, Dada. I'm sorry. It's like, I can't do this. I can't do this to my daughter. I can't do this to my kids. So I started reading up on anger. Like how to let go of shit, I think is what I Googled. And I found empathy. If you have empathy for somebody, you put yourself in their shoes, you can just, figure out where they're coming from, where you're coming from. You can meet in the middle. So I said, all right, here we go. Let me put myself in her shoes. What would cause somebody to, was she a mummy? Did she have a wooden leg? Was she one of those, those fucking diagonal walkers? You get behind them at the airport, they're walking too slow. You try to go around to the right. They start dragging their suitcase over there. You go over to the left. They're coming back this way. It's like they just got off a ship. And everything was just like, no, cut! Right? I was still mad. Still fucking mad. So I said, I don't give a shit. I don't give a fuck. Women. Who do they move in with? Women. Who do they get in relationships with? Women. Who do they eventually marry? Women. And I was thinking like, oh my God, I did that. I know what the fuck that's like. I know what it's like to live with one of those fucking things. I know exactly what that is. It's hopeless. Trying to make them happy. Hey, am I getting a shiny thing? Did I do it right? Huh? Trying to get them to take responsibility for their action.
Like he's Tesla tapping into the atmosphere. I know, this is always uncomfortable. I know, you bought into it, right? That whole advertising, the way they aligned themselves with some of the greatest people of all time. Jesus, Gandhi, me. Remember that? Muhammad Ali, John Lennon, this guy. How the fuck was that dude like any of them? Gandhi didn't have a sweatshirt only to catch a net and get ricocheted back through the window to have to put together yet another iPad. John Lennon didn't have children in his basement pressing those fucking albums. I know. New phone can't fit the old charger. This is your hero? This is the guy? This is what all the silence is about. This is what all the silence is about. New phone can't fit the old charger, so then you got to throw it out. Ends up in the ocean around some octopus's neck. Do you realize how much sea life is ecstatic that that man is no longer walking the earth? That's where it all ends up, you know. Doesn't go in a landfill, ends up in the ocean. You realize that? I hate people who say I don't pollute. I don't pollute. Yeah, you do. You use shit and you throw it out. Well, you think because you put it in like a basket, it just poof, disappears? Everything you ever used is somewhere. You ever think about that? Remember that flannel shirt you bought back in the day when you got into Pearl Jam? That's out there somewhere. Probably on some porpoise's face. He's trying to get it off. Stupid little flippers. All the fads. You remember rollerblading? Remember that? Everybody had them. We set up, right? One little homophobic joke killed that entire fad. What's the hardest thing about rollerblading? Telling your parents you're gay. Full-grown adults. Dude, I'm not gay. I don't have the cooties. These mean I suck dick. And they just threw them out. They end up in the ocean. They're made out of plastic. They can't biodegrade. They just break down to little cubes. Fish are breathing them in. 6 months later, you're going out, you're getting conspiracy theory and like slap fights till like 2 in the morning on YouTube, you know? Yeah, I start like piecing shit together. I'm becoming that guy. I'm like that guy, you know, when you sit there, you're sitting there drinking in a bar and all, you know, some guy's cool, you're talking about the game, then all of a sudden he's just like, you know, there's no gold behind our currency. You realize that? You're like, oh yeah, that's great. Pick up your drink, fucking walk away. Oh, that's what I'm becoming. Totally into conspiracy. That's why I think Barack Obama is going to win the election. I think they're going to let him win because they're in the process, that they need a black guy to blame it on. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. Dude, it'll totally feed into the rednecks. They'll be like, you see what happened? Dude, he's only half black. Well, that's the half that did it. That's what happened. I bet the white half was saying. That's why, see, I'm just fucking losing people. I am. I just look at TV and nothing makes sense to me. I'm sick of them telling me shit is shocking that is completely obvious. Crocodile hunter dies. Oh, can you fucking... Yes, I can totally believe it. It's why I watch the show. I watch it every week because I knew eventually he was going to fucking die. And I wanted to see it. Right? Oh, I like that dog, the bounty hunter video, or the phone message he left. You know, people are like, can you believe he left that racist message? It's like, dude. Oh, I like that dog, the bounty hunter video, or the phone message he left. You know, people are like, can you believe he left that racist message? It's like, dude, look at him. Look at him. Some redneck with a mullet down to his ass. He drives a pickup. He's got the gloves with the fingers cut off. Yeah, who would have thought he had a couple of fucked up ideas rolling around in his head, you know? Dude, you know what would have been shocking? If he could play the cello. Neck with a mullet down to his ass. He drives a pickup. He's got the gloves with the fingers cut off. Yeah, who would have thought he had a couple of fucked up ideas rolling around in his head, you know? Dude, you know what would have been shocking? If he could play the cello. That would have been shocking, right? Yeah, then you'd be sitting there like, goddamn, look at Doc. Here it is. I thought he was some racist on his way to a steak and shake, and he's busting out a little Beethoven. God damn, I owe this guy. Man, I actually spent so much time alone on the road, actually like contemplated milk to the point I can't even fucking drink it anymore. Sitting there drinking, like, man, this stuff is great, tastes awesome, you know. Then I started thinking, it comes out of the carton, and I just did the police work. It comes out of a cow, and I'm like, I am fucking suckling for another species. We have such a crazy relationship with cows. You ever think about that? No, you can nurse from it, you can eat it, right? You can tip it over. It's dependent on me. I gotta get out of this tailspin, man. So I'm thinking about getting a dog. My girlfriend wants me to like adopt a dog. She's like, you want to adopt a dog? We should rescue one. You want to do that? I'm like, no, I don't. She's like, why not? I go, because I think a lot of those dogs, they're a little fucked in the head. Yeah, how do you think they ended up down there? It's like, dude, that's not a pet store. That's like doggy death row, all right? Why don't we just go to a prison and like adopt an inmate on the off chance that maybe they didn't know because his last owner hung him from the ceiling fan every time the Jets didn't cover the over, you know? Dude, that is an animal. That thing could kill you. If a squirrel wanted to fuck me up, if it just started running at me, by the time I processed, like, is that a rat? Is that mechanical? By the time I figured it out, it would have ran up my leg and just taken chunks out of my ear. Then I got to tell that story for the rest of my life, sitting in a bar. Dude, what happened to you? A fucking squirrel, right? Never get laid again. That's what I'm saying, right? I get one of those crazy dogs. Get up at like 3 in the morning to take a leak. Right, I'm shuffling to the bathroom, and that's the exact moment his previous owner used to come home shit-faced and beat the crap out of the dog, right? I got no clue. I'm just, sitting there shuffling to the bathroom. Meanwhile, the dog's getting all amped up, like, fuck this shit, man. I promised myself I wouldn't let this happen again, all right? Time to man up. Ah! It's flying at me. Takes a big chunk out of my neck. Then what? I'm laying on the, like, shackles on him and stuff. He's just sitting there hopping back in. We knew you'd be back. Yeah, go fuck yourself. Get me a milk bone, Wheel him in like Hannibal Lecter with like that lampshade around his neck. I gotta work on my temper though. Something I really gotta do. I let like the thoughts just spin away, I was on a plane the other day. I actually had the... She just starts, like, waddling around me. And all of a sudden, I just feel my elbow like, dude, you going to take this shit? This is ridiculous, man. The whole half of the plane is watching it. Come on, man. Dude, we got a wide-open shot. Just relax. Poof, I got to hit it that hard. And then you can play it off. I'm literally talking to my elbow like, dude, come on, man. We can't do this shit, all right? This chick's like 95 years old. We can't do it. I thought I had my body under control, and she got like to right about there, and then I felt my foot like, dude, we could still trip her. Frame, spitting out their ideas. It's just like, well, why are you talking? Right? You weren't elected. Shut up. Your husband's not running a lemonade stand here. He's running the country. You don't just chime in. Let me guess, is this considered sexist? It is? Why? Well, okay, you just nodded there, lady. Let me ask you this, all right? Let's say you had a leak in your house. I'm actually taking care of it. Wouldn't you be like, with all due respect, shut the up? I need a plumber in this moment. I'll extend an olive branch here. All right, at some point, there's going to be the first female president, right? Exactly. Which means at that moment, you're going to have the first male first lady, right? And when that happens, that dude, go do some first lady stuff, all right? Go get yourself some gloves that go up to your elbows. Smile and nod during speeches. Go put your own flair, redecorating the White House, right? Which leads you to Michelle Obama, right? Now she's sitting there holding up those hashtags. Remember that hashtag, bring back our girls? Remember that? It's like, it blew my mind. It's like, why are you showing me that? I'm a stand-up comedian. Like, what am I going to do? For the free world. Tell them to pick up the phone, call some Navy SEALs and solve it. What am I going to do? Show up with a sharpened mic stand? Hey, Michelle said to bring him back. Oh, it's unreal. I'll tell you what kills me. Hillary Clinton might run. She might run. That blows my. I mean, she became a senator. She went from being the president's wife to being a senator, just like that. Lateral move. That's like Tom Brady's wife becoming the next quarterback of the Rams. It's like what? You hanging out? You just pick it up. I sucked at sports, and then I banged Tom Brady, and I don't know what happened. I just picked up a ball. I started lacing it. I'm leading receivers. It was incredible. I knew it was going to be like this. You know what's funny? There's actually people out there that think a woman being president is actually a good idea. You know? Can you believe that? See that? They do. That'll do something. That'll change things. How? How the
is that going to change anything? Do you know what the president makes a year? The president makes $400,000 a year. That's it.
Girlfriend, they just like see that open day. They're like, oh my God, let's fucking fill it up with shit. They just come at you with like one horrible idea after another. They have the worst ideas. They do. You ever get to this one, they'll be like, you want to go to brunch? You want to go to brunch on Sunday? And inside you're like, fucking no! But you can't say that. You got to keep her happy. See what I'm saying? Where are all those feminists then? You can't find them. They had no feminists in a house fire. You can take the most hardcore feminist, you know, some chick right in your face, you chauvinistic son of a bitch, you know, little short, little haircut, you know. Second those flames break out, she'll twist those little hairs into pigtails. Oh, I'm just a girl. I want to go play jump rope.
Guy's like 6'4", he's ripped. And we went down the alley, and his character's mad at our character, and he just turned around and looked at us. And for half a second, I was like, oh, that's Wolverine. And I legit got scared. And he's a big guy, you know? So what's funny in this scene is as the reporter, I have like a notebook, and I dropped it. And after the screening, we went to the Toronto Film Festival, and all these actors are coming up. Funny in this scene is as the reporter, I have like a notebook, and I dropped it. And after the screening, we went to the Toronto Film Festival, and all these actors are coming up to me. I love the choice you made. I love the choice you made to drop the notebook. I go, no, dude, that was real. I was like, hard day at work, and that's all I need. So basically what happened was a lot of empty seats where I was up because StubHub was gouging people so bad, people just stayed home. So there was all these empty seats behind us. Really? So my buddy was taking his beer, empty beer cans, was sticking them there, and this guy, and he was rather than just being, hey, do you mind, my wife and kid got to get by, can you just blah, 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 he just immediately went to, hey, was there something wrong with the bottom of your chair? And then it escalated, and then I pulled the ladies line, which usually diffuses it. I was like, ladies, come on, what are we doing? We're at the game here, right? And I go to shake his hand, he doesn't shake my hand like an so now, all my Boston anger comes up, and I'm just talking loudly about West Coast fans, forgetting that I'm a bald 50-year-old. He mugging me the whole way up.
Oh, really?
He's with his wife and kid. He's sitting there, you know, looking like he just got out of Denny's, and he's looking at me like he's going to do something. So my eyes are starting to go, but I refuse to get glasses. So I'm sitting there like, as I'm walking up, I'm like, is this guy looking at me? So, you know, when you have old eyes, you got to look away and then look back to make sure, right? So I did that. Now he thinks I'm soft. Like, oh, I got him. He blinked, right? So something happened on the walk up to him. I was just like, I'm not doing this anymore. I was just like, dude, come on, man. I got to respect. So immature, like emotionally, that when he went to do the fist bump, he didn't even move his hand up. He just had it in his lap, and he just kind of went like this. You know, like when a toddler goes to wave for the first time, they don't lift their arm up. They just imitate you like that. Like he did that, and I did the fist bump, and then we were fine. So I think I figured something out. What? Because there's an overlap with Irish guys and Mexican dudes as far as like a disconnect. Like you have like this anger, and like I think. Like that's like meeting a 60-year-old Irish guy in therapy years. Like they're even more hardcore. Dude, they'll literally stand there, face 10 people with flamethrowers and not even flinch. Be like, what? I'm not backing down. So you have to give them, you got to give them the out. So I gave him the out, and then I squashed it. And then even my buddy, the Irish Boston guy next to me, afterwards he walked out. He was just like, dude, how did you do that? How did you do that? It's just like, well, you know, I've been married for 5 years. Losing. I gave him the out, and then I squashed it. And then even my buddy, the Irish Boston guy next to me, afterwards he walked out. He was just like, dude, how did you do that? How did you do that? It's just like, well, you know, I've been married for 5 years, losing fights all the time. So I've just learned.
Congratulations on the baby. You just had the baby, right?
Yeah, little Friday morning. Friday morning. I did. My wife did. I didn't do anything. I felt unbelievably useless. I was in total pain to do that move. But just knowing you were going to do it, like the level of excitement that you would have before, like, okay, I'm going to go get some cigarettes. And I'm never going to see you people again, your mother-in-law. All of this stuff is over. I'm a loner, man. I don't like people. So I
Yeah, you're not lying.
I don't.
Yeah, I know.
This Fifth Avenue during Christmas time,
You
the
can't stand
thoughts that go through my head. The thoughts that go through my head.
Sure as shot? Jesus Christ, what a piece of shit. You should just tear it down, start over again. Yeah. I have a temper. So that's the thing. That's what kind of ruins things. Everything else I do is fine, but I have a fucking temper, and it just ruins shit. And then my wife always says the same thing. She's always just like, I just don't understand. Where did that come from? Where is that coming from? It's you just go from 0 to 100 in 2 seconds. It's like, first of all, I idle at 75 miles an hour. All right? So don't give me this 0 to 100. And they're like, Afterwards, I ran upstairs to my top bunk. My dad knew he fucked up, to his credit. He came up, he tried to smooth it over. He's like, all right, come on back down. It's over. Come on down, enjoy the holiday. And I'm like, Dad, why did he do this? I fucking hate you. Right? He eventually coaxed me down, you know. He softened up a little bit. Look, you don't get your fucking ass back downstairs. No one else can open that gift. I'm moving out. I said moving out. I go back downstairs all shell-shocked. A little over 2 years old. She's yet to meet me yet. You know? Like the real me. She's seen glimpses of me. I come, hey, how are you? She's seen glimpses of the anger, but I'm able to smooth it over really quickly. Like, whoa, Daddy almost snapped his phone in half. But I see it in her face. I can see the way she looks at me. She's starting to put it together like, this dude's a little fucked up, man. This is a little fucked up. I cannot tell you how heartbreaking that is to see from a top. Leaps out the window. It dies, you know? So I've been fucking trying everything, you know? I tried, you know, I don't know, I meditating, wearing sweaters. I did that for a while. Like if I dressed like a regular guy, I'd be one. I drew a smiley face on a Post-it and stuck it on my dashboard. Like that was gonna help with my road rage. You know, driving down the street like, you motherfucker! I guess I've done that too. Thank you, Smiley. Sitting there playing with a rubber ducky, sticking my toe in the faucet. Right? Not allowed. Not allowed to be that happy. So, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna go back to therapy, do that fucking bullshit again. Fast forward through all these stories I've told a million times. I gotta do it though. I'm gonna do it for my kid and do it for my wife. And selfishly, do it for me. Because, no, I'm gonna tell you why. You're not gonna like the results, miss. Look so fucking exhausted. You know what I mean? They just put the war paint and the circle tits, just trying to fucking tuck it in and fucking like an athlete at the end of their career, just trying to limp out on the field one more time. They're not as fast as they used to be. It reminds you of your own mortality. It's just like, ladies, just fucking sit down, put on something flowing. I'll put on a sport coat. We'll be in bed by 8:30, right? We're fucking old, you know? So we realized that, I don't know, we always fight about the television. So I'm like, well, what about documentaries? Why don't we just tape something we